Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Talk about a slow week. So far, well, as far as stuff I actually want to talk about in regards to like pop culture, geeks, things like that, been a slow week, but it is a Wednesday. Later on this week, things might pick up because we have a whole bunch of stuff going on. We have Batman Day, we have WWE WrestlePalooza, which I will watch as much as I can take. I will be watching AEW's All Out. We have Batman Day happening this week, so we'll be talking a lot of Batman, both in person and on the streams. Got Wicked, and I think I think we'll. I don't know if we met our benchmark for Spinal Tap, but I think I'll do it anyway because Spinal Tap 2 is coming out. Wow. Let's see. I have not got my notification yet that I am live, so I mean I'm talking to myself again. That's nice. No, I did not. I just haven't had the time. I don't do the immediate event watching stuff anymore unless I'm watching it with you guys. And since we weren't doing watch parties or Strange New Worlds, I just put it on the back burner. I will tell you though, out of all the seasons, this has been my least favorite show, so I haven't really felt that urge to jump at it as much as I did. I really love Strange New Worlds, and there are a couple episodes here, but there just wasn't a good enough good episodes so far to the season to really drag me to the finish line like the two previous ones. Still gotta, like I said, it's still up there with Voyager for me, but Voyager did not have any bad seasons. Strange New Worlds this season wasn't that remarkable. So I have not been compelled to get through. I've started it. I'm about 20 minutes into it, but I have not gotten through the rest of it though. Yes, I did. I watched the entire series. Yeah, Spinal Tap is out. That's why Larry Provision. By the way, if you guys want to pick a movie for us to watch, as you can see, we have a wide range of suffering we're into. There is the link. Just type in what movie you would like us to consider, and if we do not do it, you'll be refunded. If it's something we cannot do or something I just can't stomach, you'll be immediately refunded. Well, he's not really psychic about his future. He was shown his future by the that Klingon stone, which I like because that immediately makes it less predictable. I that's my favorite part about it though, and I wish they would have spent more time on that than they did on some of this other stuff. Sorry, I'm multitasking again. You know I'll fuck things up with that one. At least I don't have a at least I don't have a really loud keyboard like Brad does. But yeah, I think it'll eventually happen, especially under current management, which I think he was a fan of that movie. Not for free, no. No, we're gonna. Those are two really bad movies. So, like I said, if we're gonna do a really bad movie, my time is worth something. So, yeah, that's. Brad is not. My parents are more advanced in technology than Brad is, which is kind of sad. They're closing in on their 80s. Brad's barely 40. So, yeah. Checking the emails. I don't know about you guys who have allergies, but I've been really suffering this week. So what happened today? Anything happened today? I mean, let's check Twitter. I usually stay off of Twitter because it's one of the most annoying platforms. But let's see. I'm not talking about the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. Let's see. Absolute Catwoman's coming out next week. AEW. Yeah, I'm not even going to go into that because there's some massive lawsuits that are probably going to get filed, and plus, I mean, other than NFL, who's watching ABC anyway? So, but yeah, there's going to be a there's going to be like I said, I'll let Kimmel's lawyers and the FCC who's going to get sued deal with this because here's the thing, and I'll leave it here. If ABC had done it just on their own, which they did, that would have been fine. But the head of the FCC came out and made public statements. So now he is interfering in the process that is solely between ABC and Jimmy Kimmel in regards to the First Amendment. The First Amendment doesn't protect you from an employer firing you for what you say. Had it not been for the FCC's comments, that would have been a case that they could make. But the fact that he got up there and made threats, made public statements, Kimmel's lawyers are going to be able to take him to court on that, and they're probably going to win if he wants to come back to ABC. He may figure, you know what? You guys don't got my back. I got tons of money. He may just go somewhere else and do his own thing somewhere. I have a feeling everybody in Alien Earth dies some prodigy. I don't know about Aweo and Yutani because clearly their company moves on. Yeah, yeah. If they're willing to outbid ABC for them, and who knows how much they're worth. Hold on. Shit. Okay, that was not true. That would have been really nice. Oh, you mean Willie and Tiny? Well, yeah, that's probably gonna, yeah, because they're gonna have to cover their tracks. And like I said, I think everything dies. I think all the specimens die in next episode. Um, Possibly all the kids are gonna die or die again. And there'll be, everything that happens in this last episode will be, what we use going forward into Alien. Yeah. Yes, I am. Okay, all right. I'm having an issue with a VOD app, and I asked for a refund for my 200 film catalog, and they haven't responded. What app is it? Just to be curious. Hold on, I'm doing a couple of different things. Do you think VODs could just a particular library after you purchase? It depends on. Well, most of them can because I think you're not purchasing the movie. I think if you read the fine print on the VOD, you're licensing the movie. It's not a purchase; it's a license, and yeah, I think they can. Hello, my little favorite Aussie. Yeah, look at the terms of service when you purchase a movie or whatever VOD you usually use. Look at the terms of service. I know the ones that I use. I use Voodoo, and because I have Blade Runner, I bought Blade Runner on Digi as soon as it came out, and I bought it on physical media. So I own that movie. They have never taken that away from me, but I think that the most of the other ones can. Hold on, 775-367. Go. Let's see. How you doing, Jose? I rarely, like I said, I've used VODs a lot. I mean, I got a lot of movies, but I mean, I've never ran into the problem of my shit disappearing. I have a bigger problem with my stuff disappearing when it's on like a streamer, like HBO. You can't watch. In fact, like um, Blade Runner 2049 is not on HBO Max, even though it's a Warner Brothers film. So, but VOD for the most part, I haven't heard. I've heard some stories about it, but I haven't heard too many when it comes to your library. But once you drop $29 on it, I think it should belong to you. But I don't know if that's the case. Yeah, see, Voodoo works everywhere. I have Voodoo, or Bidu or whatever. Hold on, what do I have? Because like I said, I bought Blade Runner immediately. Was it Voodoo? I forgot what it's called. I know I went wherever the code fucking told me. So Voodoo is Fandango. Hold on for a second, because I got it on my phone too. Why? Where is it? I know it's on here because I was literally just watching Blade Runner 2049 the other day. Fuck is it? So maybe my app disappeared. That would be hilarious because I got it on. I got stuff on Amazon that I've downloaded, and I know Amazon tells you outright it can take your shit. I gotta look it up. I can't even find the app now, so I might be in trouble. But see, now it leads me to Fandango, which like you were just saying, but I have this on a different because I have a Fandango account too. Hold on. This is what happens when you have all these. So I'm gonna have to find out where my damn movies are because I don't think they erase them. I just think they bottom out. Yeah, see, a lot of people that are just not buying physical media. They're just not. They don't have the room. They don't have the space for them. Have you been seeing everyone within the sports wrestling world asking and begging TK to Tony Khan to counter programs? Oh, he's definitely going to. They don't need to ask him. He's going to be smart enough to know that. Tony Khan is going to be smart enough to know exactly what to do, and not just counter programming on WrestleMania. Counter programming as far as pricing goes, because TKO is going to keep charging money as long as they can get people to come out and pay it. But if there's a cheaper option, then eventually people are going to take a look at it. Hold up for a second. Where the fuck is Brad? May not have a co-host tonight. Who knows? He's probably sleeping. Here we go. What the hell? I'm doing a bunch of different things, but yeah, I can't even find my own. Yeah, I just got the email from him right now. Just trying to figure out what's going on with my account here. Let's see. Pain in the ass. Password and sign it. Where's my shit? Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Okay, so apparently I'm supposed to be able to find my shit here. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay. Where's my library? My movies.
Hey, everybody.
What's up? We're just trying to figure out this Fandango voodoo thing that stole my Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049. Okay. I shouldn't have to buy this. Okay, now I see what you guys are talking about. If Voodoo, I have this movie through Voodoo, but it's become Fandango at home, and now I don't have it again. So they're going to hear from me. Support. Yeah, I'll deal with this later because I have Blade Runner on so many different formats. It doesn't really matter, but I want to know where my shit went. I have all my digital movies connected to different platforms like Fandango at home movies. Yeah, movies anyway. Oh, that's another one I have too. That's another one I have Blade Runner on. Hold on. I think that's the one I have it on. I don't think I have. Here we go. Okay, yeah. Movies Anywhere is where I have Blade Runner on. Okay. Because that's the one you get when you first buy it. Let me look at me. Sure. What anything going on with you, Brad? Because it's been a pretty fucking uneventful day today. Don't take those for granted, by the way.
Nah, not too much. Not that I saw news-wise or what have you.
Yeah, I've already said what I'm going to say about the about the Kimmel thing because I'm just waiting for the lawsuits.
Yeah.
Because that's a massive lawsuit. Here we go. Yes, sir.
Did you talk about the Matt Reeves? Did you talk about the Matt Reeves thing?
No, I did not. I was not. I was away from the computer. What's explain? Go ahead and explain to the audience.
Well, basically, he was like on the red carpet for something, and he was asked about the status of the Batman 2, and he said, "Yeah, it's cooking, and yeah, it's Elseworlds." So,
all right, now James Gunn. That okay? So you saw it. There's no more to it, then, right? Cool.
Well, like Gunn, he is on camera talking about it, but he's like responded and here and there and like social media posts saying it's like, yeah, we're letting Matt be off on his own. We respect that and that kind of thing. But he was not like next to Matt Reeves when he made that comment. But like the main thing today was about Matt Reeves saying that.
And that's been pretty much. When I type in Elseworlds to pull up the logo, I get the fucking CW. That is not cool.
No,
yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's not what it should be known for. When you think Elseworlds is something DC developed in comic books, what they did with it, and I get this shit off my screen. That is, okay. So for those of you who only know Elseworlds through the CW, I am begging you. I am begging you, if you're not aware of the actual Elseworlds that came through in the comics as at post Crisis, please go look up some of that stuff. Kingdom Come, Gotham by Gaslight, Red Sun. There's a lot of really good Elseworlds, and it was done. They were originally conceived as one-offs, but then some of them, like I said, Kingdom Come was a Elseworlds miniseries that was really designed only to be that 4 issues, but it obviously it turned into something much larger, because it was epic. Kingdom Come changed DC for the best, in my opinion, and it's I wish they would embrace it. And now, I want to bring up this logo. Come on. So let's see, save images. Image number 6. Okay. Because I think they should be. I said this about a year and a half ago. I think you were with me at that point, where I said right now, before we do anything to do with Elseworlds, that we should be educating the general audience on what Elseworlds is. They should know that logo before they know any project of Elseworlds. I mean, other than the Batman, which came before his tenure, but anything like that is going to be Elseworlds. There should be. The brand recognition itself should be able to.
Yeah, but this is WB. You're asking to do that kind of heavy lifting.
I'm not asking WB to do shit. I'm asking James Gunn to do it because it's on him now. Because David Zaslav would know Elseworld from his dick. Okay, he would know. So I can't talk to. We're speaking a different language when we're talking to David Zaslav because we're talking corporate now. But the actual creative head. James Gunn knows what Elseworlds is. He just knows. James Gunn comes from my generation. He was in the comic book stores at the same time I was. James Gunn knows Elseworlds. So what I would like to see them do now is market this. This logo should be like, I'm not going to say it's going to ever be as synonymous as the static in the HBO, but for his purposes, I think he should be marketing this one. I mean, this should be, this should be, everywhere, and like I said, when as soon as he laid out his slate and he was discussing, well, where this comes from, where this should already be in the backdrop, whether you have a project ready or not. Just the fact that we know this is happening, for me, this would have been a lot easier to tie what Peacemaker is doing, because everything that Peacemaker doesn't become at the end, with whatever road that they take, by default, everything else is an Elseworld. And they're starting. You have 2 people associated with DC Studios now that are openly using the term. Golf clap to both of them. Now take it further. Let people know what Elseworlds is. This DC show, which needs to be really revived and redone. They need to be talking. Koi Janjo, he knows. He's a DC expert. He knows what Elseworld is. He knows how important it is. He should be talking it up. So it's good to hear them talk about it. It's good, at the very least, they're getting the conversation going, because there's a lot of people that don't know what Elseworlds is. If you look at the totality of the general audience, let's not to knock the CW, but the fraction of the audience that watch CW in comparison to the general audience is not large. So you still got a lot of people that don't know what Elseworlds is, and this is a great time to explain to them, because technically, the absolute universe. He wants to call it something else, but it's an Elseworlds type of story. It doesn't have the Elseworld logo, but it is an alternate timeline. Except, I guess the difference between the absolute universe, it's going to continue, whereas an Elseworlds is sporadic. So yeah, but even still, it gets the conversation going in the right direction as far as what is the Batman. Anybody who has any confusion, they shouldn't. But if you do, there you go. You got Matt Reeves and James Gunn, the 2 people who matter most right now, talking up. Good. That's a good day. So yeah. Anything else? Hold on. I'll be right back.
Not a whole lot that I saw. No. Yeah, I've seen this term circulating, merge. Can we get off of this whole like Snyder Bros and Merge Bros? It's like it's it's
the bro thing is because it's Warner Brothers, Warner Bros.
Well, because it's so obnoxious. Because it's just one. It's
not. It has nothing to do with the Snyder Bros. It's Warner Brothers. That's what Warner Brothers does. They've done nothing in the last 10 years. Remember, you're taking it a different way, but I see it as just Warner Brothers.
Well, again, because it's only it's only from like one side of the segment of the fandom. It's whichever side. I'm sick of being told to ignore people who are being obnoxious.
Why are you bringing it on the show?
It's one side of them.
Hold
it's one side of fandom that just feels like they're winning, and you have to just
if
find
they
a way
can get
to
you to come on our show and talk about them, they are winning. But yeah, Merger Brothers. It's what Warner Brothers has been doing since AT&T and Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, that's how I take it. I don't give a fuck about those people. Why are we bringing those people up here?
Because they're obnoxious.
Okay, but yeah, you just mentioned them on our show where they don't belong. That's a win for them. All right.
Yeah, but they infiltrate your mentions. They just get into your comments. It's like every
they're not infiltrating the show.
It's like
they're infiltrating the show through you.
No, not remotely. It's like have a look.
I wasn't going to bring them up.
Social media. It's like
not on mine.
I'm so sick of seeing this term.
They're not in our chat. They're not on. I mean,
it's not just with this either. The term bro.
You're right now.
It's so ubiquitous with just somebody trying to get a win on somebody else. That's what it is, really.
Yeah, but you just let them. You just open the door and let them into the show.
Yeah, but it's been going on for.
Doesn't matter. It can go on. It can go on for another decade. This show's ours. You and me dictate what goes on here. You and me dictate who wins.
Yeah, and I'm dictating.
You let them in,
and I'm dictating.
So
the show. Cut it out. People using this term.
You just took the loss.
No,
You just made a winner.
I'm taking the initiative.
No, it's not the initiative. You just made a winner out of people who have no bearing.
The hell I did. I'm telling them be better.
You gave yourself the L and them the W.
The hell I gave it an L anything. I said
you gave them the L. The moment you mentioned them on our show,
I took an L.
You take the L.
The hell I did. I took the initiative.
The L. You let them get to you. You did exactly. You did exactly what they wanted you to do. You danced. They said dance. They said dance. They said dance, and you danced. They said roll over. You rolled over.
Since I was 8, it's time for somebody to put their foot down.
Go get the bone, and you went and got the bone.
No, just ignore talk. You may as well. Counselors don't know what they're doing. That's what somebody has to put. They may as well have an app. Period. They may as well have an app on their phone with your name on it. Just says Brad go, and you go. No, somebody has to put their foot down and tell people be better.
Not on here. Not on here. They have nothing to do with the Sci-Fi Center Presents. Fuck these people. Fight that battle somewhere else. All right. What the fuck are you talking about, Fourth? I don't even care. Let's see. I still don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't even know if I want to read your comments tonight, Fourth. I'm about to run up on my homie. Okay, so you guys, what everybody's fighting their own wars here tonight. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Voodoo's. Let me go back to the top where we were talking about getting robbed by Voodoo and Fandango. All right. Anybody updated their Spectrum internet equipment and Fandango home still works? I'm just saying. I never had them on there. I just signed up. I had Fandango and they just merged my account with the, whenever I go to the movies, but I don't have a Fandango library though. I had a Movies Anywhere library and I thought I did. So they haven't stolen my shit yet. Okay, we're talking physical media. There's a new you're talking about it was never my shit. Listen, dude, I got you. I still have it. It's on Movies Anywhere, and plus, I got Blade Runner. You don't think I would never rely on just digital? It's easier for me to pull up on all my things, and when I'm talking Blade Runner to people, and I'm not at my house, it's cool to just throw it up there or put it on the device. But no, I have Blade Runner. I got I got the one that came with the spinner you had to build, and I was too stupid to build it, so I got somebody else to build it. I got Blade Runner 2049 immediately as soon as it released. I was one of the 22 million whatever that they made off of that, which was an astonishing number given what that movie did in the theater. So no, I have Blade Runner in all forms, and I have digital backups of it too, and I think I got to download it. So no, it's Blade Runner 2049 is my shit. It's mine. When you go to your digital medium, it has yeah, I'm not gonna do that though, because then it's all in one place. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, and then the fox comes and gets the basket. So yeah, I don't know what Elizabeth said. I didn't even hear about that today. What's going on with Elizabeth Banks? Antenna. She said that Charles Angels wasn't for men. Then it flopped.
Apparently wasn't for anybody because it flopped.
It probably wasn't even for women. So I don't know. How did that come up? FYI, their texts aren't. Okay. Their texts aren't on the weekends. Okay. This is some bullshit. These guys can work from home. It's not like they got to show up to a corporate office to be a tech. You can literally do just like we're doing right now. You can have a microphone. I can take over your screen. Hell, I've taken over my mom's screen and when I've needed to help them do things. So you could that's 2025. They need to be available 24/7 all around the world. These companies are global and they exist in different time zones in different parts of the world. Hell, every time you call customer service for any of these companies, it's somewhere, in a different continent. So there should be no weekends type of thing. Even if you have a person that just works that 2 days for a part-time, there should always be somebody available in the technology. That drives me crazy. Especially if it's an American-based company, like, when Cox fucks up, as Cox does, and, we don't have anybody here to take care of that, find them. Fucking find them. I'll wait. AT&T. We don't have anybody here to fix that. I don't want to hear that. You take my money 7 days a week. If I got to pay a bill, somebody's there to take it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You need to find those exact people to fix whatever it is that need to be fixed. This is not back in the 80s where everybody was Monday through Friday. If you were, especially when it's tech, anything tech, there is no excuse for you to not to have somebody available. Like I said, they don't have to drag their ass to the office. They can literally, you get a little chime. You could be going about your day. You get a chime, and it's me saying, "What the fuck is going on?" And all you say, "Hey, Mr. Powell, I know." And they give you the line, "Oh, I know you're frustrated." And yeah, no. If you and me are talking, we're no longer frustrated. We've passed frustrated. We've left frustrated beyond. If you and me are talking at any point in the day, we're enraged now. You owe me some money now. We're talking discounts and rebates and shit. So, but yeah, there's none of that, Monday. We're not a bank. Not a bank. So yeah, that pisses me off. The Anaconda trailer, I have not seen that.
I haven't seen it. I saw it floating around.
Is that with Jack Black on it? Is that the one
so
with
it's
Jack
probably
Black?
It's probably gonna be like a comedy version of it.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even want to bring that trailer up. If I'm going to get shut down or kicked off or whatever, then I'm not. I'm probably not going to see that movie. Kingdom Come. Wow, dude, what? Read it, Kingdom Come, dude. I know you don't like anything, but I think you're gonna like Kingdom Come. And it's not just about them getting old; it's about the world changing. Because remember, age doesn't really affect Superman. He gets some gray hair, but he still kicks ass. Wonder Woman's a goddess. So no, it's not about them getting geriatric. They're nowhere near geriatric.
By the way, William, can you check your Twitter DM real quick?
Yeah. No.
Well, actually, I just got this. I did get a yes from somebody
from
else.
That person.
Yes.
Okay. Should I be typing this? Hold on, let me type this.
Okay. We're talking about something external here, guys.
Yes.
But I asked, and the answer was yes. I can do that or say that. Okay, I'll double check.
Okay, yeah. I don't mind, but that particular person's been very sensitive of all this. So I just want to make sure because you can't take that back. Read Kingdom Come, man. Read Kingdom Come. It's one of the most important miniseries ever done, and it's high quality. Protest? No, I'm not saying people are stupid, but it's called branding. You want to brand this. Not necessarily. I mean, one of the ways is, like I said, one of the reasons you would do it is to explain it to people. But the other one, it's branding. You're branding your story. Like every time you do something and put something out in the public domain for sale, you should be branding it. And if it's something different from your main brand, you should be branding it differently from your main brand. DC Elseworlds. The same reason why they branded in the comics. We're all smart when we read the comics, but that when it's Elseworlds, it's right up on that upper left-hand corner. When it's Black Label, it's up there. When it's Absolute, it's right above the title. So it's just branding is what it is. Can't wait to see Momo's Lobo. Did you order that part? You didn't order that part yet, did you? For your mic?
Yeah. So in fact, I was about to ask you about that. I was like, what's it called? Because I was going to go ahead and get that off.
Okay, so it's an adapter. So you're coming from.
I'm getting the USB. Yeah, and I need to get like the headphone adapter.
USB to aux jack. AUX. USB to aux jack. AUX.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I was getting the wrong thing or getting the right thing for it. Okay. Well, I did get it. Go ahead and get a clear yes, William. So. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up because friend of the show here, everybody say hi to Ruth. This is our good friend Ruth, who I have
from Scotland. Ruth from Scotland.
I have. We that's what William and I were discussing. We wanted to be absolutely certain that it was okay with her to mention that this is her.
It's been a long time since I've seen her in the chat. So.
Yes, yeah. But good to see you again, Ruth. Whenever you're feeling right, we'd love to have you back on the. We're doing Wicked pretty soon. I know you're a big fan of that, like Aaron. So if you're
help me absorb this nonsense, this 3-hour odyssey.
You should have been here for Mystery Men. I would have loved to have you for Mystery Men, Ruth.
She probably elected not to be. Good woman.
Yeah. No, Ruth.
All right. Well, I will see you. Like I said, love to let me know when.
Yes, Wonder Woman does rock. Yes, we do need more Catwoman. Yes, we do. But not like the 2004 one.
She's getting it all out.
Yeah.
All right. People complaining about WTBT. You got people complaining about AEW with $40 pay-per-views on HBO Max. I gladly go for AEW because I know what I'm getting. I know this Saturday at AEW All Out. If I'm gonna get. Not only am I gonna get my money's worth, I'm gonna get more than I wanted. His pay-per-views are long as fuck. Right, and I've been to AEW pay-per-views, and they are long. And when you leave AEW, you're exhausted. There is no, I felt like I got ripped off. There is no such thing as a Tony Khan event where you feel like you actually want to give him more money because he just gave you like half a day. I mean, one of the pay-per-views I was 6 hours, dude. 6 hours. I wanted to be there and I was tired. So yeah, but it was good. If it were bad, I'd have been like, you know what? Why are we just doing this now? But WWE, you're gonna charge me these new prices, and the product hasn't improved. To be honest with you, I was watching it the other night. It was all right, but it wasn't like pay raise all right. So I'm just
I'm going to read this properly. Really, I'm a Geordie, William.
You're a Scotty, is what you are. But,
love Wicked. Again, if you're feeling up to coming back on, that's what we're doing that Saturday, right?
Yeah, this Saturday.
If you're feeling up, for that,
we're doing it on Batman Day. Somebody asked me if I was going to do a Batman movie, but I was like, I don't.
I mean, no pressure if you still kind of want to take a break from YouTube life, but if you're feeling up for it, just let me know. We'll shoot you a link. You and Aaron were like the two people I knew personally who were most anticipating that when it was coming out.
Shoot you a link, and then once you come on, we can replace Brad. That's it to look at.
Hey, Ruth. There's something awesome coming out called The Furious that Aaron and I are looking forward to.
She doesn't care.
So I bet you'd love it. I bet it's like because it's gonna be like it's like 90% just people kung fuing each other.
I would not. I don't know if this is gonna happen for us. I wouldn't put it past him. Hell, fucking Scott Snyder's got Absolute Batman's going to be fighting white supremacists next month.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Like, and the cover is literally all of them white supremacists. I'm like, oh, dude, you're not fucking around. you're not fucking around. The response to this one is going to be like, oh, wow.
And he's doing all this juicing with Venom. Like he's turning into Bane and he's taking on white supremacists.
So I think this is going to be newsworthy. I'm pretty sure all the marks are going to come in. Hey, you get that issue that's on the news? I'm no. Sold out. Get out. William, don't they have Infinity where you live or CenturyLink? Yeah, but there's a slower though. That's the thing. Is Cox is the fastest. Their fiber optics are they're all fiber optic. There's a faster download. I want the fastest download that I can get, obviously, because what I do, and plus watching movies and watching documentary. I watch a lot of documentaries on my computer, and then I throw them up on the screen. I mean, I hardly ever. I mean, I watch some stuff on TV, but a lot of it is me casting it into the bigger screen. Yeah, hello, Bell Rev. How you doing?
Yeah, I saw your video earlier, Bell. That it was like. She's not. It's kind of like I'm not watching Peacemaker and Alien Earth is mid or something like that. That's what her last one was. Because she was in the chat last night talking about she's not over the moon about the Alien Earth and not related to Peacemaker. She's definitely much more of the Snyderverse persuasion of DC. I definitely am too.
Both of these shows are not going to be for everybody. I mean, I'm surprised both of them are doing as well because they're not for everybody. There are specific casts of fans that are going to like this, and there's some that are not going to, unaffiliated or not. It's like a certain comedian. If you don't find a certain comedian funny, you just don't. There's nothing anybody can do about it. If you don't find a certain actor appealing or a writer or director appealing, there's something you're not gonna
with comedians. Like I remember like you like and Phil a lot to
George Carlin.
Yeah, Carlin. It's like I never got as much into because it's not that he's he's not a strong comedian. It's me personally. I always found his brand of humor was always just a little bit too cynical for my taste. I mean, so if anybody who enjoys Carlin, I mean, don't get me. It's like more power to you. He just again, I kind of when it comes to comedy, I don't know, cynicism kind of like it doesn't really mesh as well with me. So.
Oh, yeah, and he was from a different era too, and he was speaking to a certain generation. I mean, I got some of his stuff. I mean, when he started towards the end of his life, when he got more philosophical about things, and it wasn't just comedy, and he just started because his routines went from just straight up comedy towards in the middle and end of his life to he was more of a commentator than I would like to think. Yeah. Kind of became like a curmudgeon too, but it was part of his stick.
Yeah, so that I mean, kind of like in that aspect. I mean, the guy I sort of gravitate to most. The guy like Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart, because I've followed them since like senior year of high school. That kind of sort of deadpan commentator humor that they always kind of resonate me a little bit more. I've tried many times to get into Bill Maher, but it's like he always like finds some way to just repel me. When it comes to Bill Maher, like, I respect Bill Maher, and I think Bill Maher is funny. He can be funny, but my God, can he such an asshole? He can be a bit condescending, and depending on what the topic is, he can really set you on the wrong. Like I said, we're in a polarized world right now, and he's in the middle of all of it. Some of his points of view are tough to deal with for me. So, but when it comes to Colbert and some of these other guys, I never was interested in the Colbert Show because it was an act, and I'm like, okay, cool. Jon Stewart, I've always found funny, but Jon Stewart, like I said, he's not just being funny. He takes it upon himself. He doesn't stray away from politics. And I think comedians, if you're a comedian that's not afraid to get into politics, I don't really want to, I'm not saying that has to be your game. But if you are afraid to dive into anything, then I'm probably not going to really be entertained by you. So, there you go. There's a Ruth saying hi to both of you guys. And he watches every day. Oh, yes, she does. Oh, good. Then Ruth, you've heard me hype up the Furious on here as like it's Toronto National Film Festival premiere, and it's like it's much anticipated release as like it's going to be.
You have never tried so hard to try my patience as you are tonight, man. You came in here on a mission to fuck with me today.
It's going to top the raid like tenfold. That's how it's got 2 guys from the raid in it. No. Oh, and by the way, speaking of trying your patience, like Ruth, and you see, Ruth, I love you, but you willed this monstrosity to exist.
There you go. Now you don't want anything to do with her. Now you don't want her.
It's like I'm a forgiving person. It's like this all started with her like making like one offhand comment saying, it's like, hey Brad, it's like, what if they did Scary Movie 6? And it's like, here we are.
It's like people can't not being able to spell train before they push the fucking enter button forth, and then we got try. How you doing, Ray? How you doing? John Stewart, the Green Lantern. He'll be in Lanterns.
Yeah. John Stewart, John Stewart of the Daily Show. So he's a John Stewart with no H in his name, and he's white. William touched on a little bit before.
Yeah, like I said,
that's lawsuit waiting to happen. Oh, and Ruth got actually see, and this William like downplays this. Ruth got the word "tra" tattooed on her arm. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
It's like, come on, dude. It's like this should
I
be.
got
like,
the laser. Listen, Ruth. Pete Davidson was covered with tattoos, and he got them all lasered off. There's still
no, don't ever take that off, Ruth.
There's still a hope for you.
Williams, like, this should be like part of the side of a certain brand. You should be merchandising the hell out of the word "tra."
The losers. I know who this is. I remember this. Thank you for the $2 too, Ben.
When did that come out? That was like Chris Evans before he was Captain America, wasn't it? That was like
that's like mid 2000s.
That was like between Human Torch and Captain America.
I'd say 07, 08, maybe. If not, because he wasn't Captain America until 2011.
I like Bill Burr. Yeah, I do like.
I love Bill Burr. I love
Bill Burr. Bill Burr is Jimmy Carr,
Ricky Gervais. I don't find funny.
Yeah, see it so. You're talking about like comedians not afraid to dance. Chris Rock. It's like.
Well, Chris Rock's my favorite.
And it's like this dude. It's like, and he's half of his act is dunking on white people, and it's like, and it's hilarious. So it's like yeah.
Chris Fox, especially from the point of view of black folks, is absolutely hilarious, man.
Yeah.
So I watched some of his stuff the other day, of current stuff, and yeah, he's got his needle on.
I mean, it's as everybody can probably guess from like his like last stand-up ad from like a year or so ago. He touched on a controversy that hit, let's say, a little bit closer to home for him, and it was pretty funny.
Okay, what non-word? What hell? What? I don't even know what I'm reading here, but I'm only reading it because it's attached.
Hellatron today.
Okay.
Ruth's also asking, are we looking forward to the next Marvel movie? What the next one coming up? That is going to be.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not Doomsday. But yeah, I mean definitely.
I am looking forward to.
That's next movie.
For 4 years now.
So they don't have like that's the next MCU movie on the that's on the release slate.
Yep. Marvel has 2 big movies coming out in next year, and it is and they're both going to probably do very well in my opinion. And I've been waiting, like I said, I've been waiting for Tom Holland, who I like as Spider-Man, but I've been waiting for him to be his own Spider-Man, and I got glimpses of that at No Way Home, and I'm looking forward to. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
And it's a bit by the time that comes out, that's close to half a decade from No Way Home. So it took longer than we thought it would.
Which is kind of fucking sad, actually.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, just in a vacuum, a big Spider-Man fan, and No Way Home is like that's my Spider-Man number one and my MCU number one. So.
Yeah, I have the Spider-Verse movies, and then I have that.
Definitely very much looking forward to that. So yeah, next Marvel, that is because we just had Fantastic Four, so it's about a year gap. It's a brand new day. Yeah, it's longer than I thought it would be for the next Marvel. But yes, I'm very much looking forward to next Marvel movie that is Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I forgot about you. That was very disturbing when you would be like you said, like a pineapple just sitting there in front of the screen. I'm like, what are you doing? Richard Pryor was funny, but he was my dad's funny. I didn't really relate. He was speaking to a generation that I wasn't. Don Rickles, same thing with Don Rickles. George Carlin. Who do you like more? I mean, I saw. Okay, let me give it to you this way, Rational. I heard more of Richard Pryor because this is back in the day where my parents would have the albums. This is back when you bought the albums or the tapes. You would listen to them over and over again. It wasn't just a stand-up routine. You could go buy the routine on a record, and my parents would buy those. So I heard more Richard Pryor than I heard Don. Don Rickles was beyond me, and George Carlin was the same way. But in a black household, I was listening to Richard Pryor, so I would have to.
My intro to Richard Pryor was about the worst one you could have, which was I first saw him in Superman 3. So that's not a good intro to Richard. But and then it's not a good intro because it's a terrible movie, and he's terrible in it with the material he's given. But then also, it's not really representative of his brand of humor and his stand-up.
Yeah, it really isn't. You just the people who get to go see that shitty Superman movie wouldn't be able to get in to one of his performances.
When he
Without a Parents, he was very dirty.
And he would get torn apart today.
Yeah, because he's talking about. I mean, he did a lot of things. He was avant-garde back then. Across the Spider-Verse was fire. Into the Spider-Verse was okay. I thought they were both equally epic for me. They're my two favorite Spider-Man movies.
Into Spider-Verse Across it builds very much on the shoulders of Into the Spider-Verse. So I definitely
I love the way I felt when I was done with Into the Spider-Verse. Both of these movies, especially. Like I said, this is why Lord and Miller. I want them doing everything Spider-Man for as long as they want to. The way they posed everybody so that you could believe what people were going to. You understood where Miguel was coming from. You understood why he had to do what he had to do and why he thought he had to do. But you also understood what Miles was coming from. I can't just let my father die because of this grand thing that you're looking at. I'm a kid. I can't. So he's you. But you understood what they were both going to. And then when my favorite part of that movie is when they're chasing him and he reveals that you're an aberration. You're not supposed to happen. Because of what the Kingpin did, the spider that was supposed to be in that other universe bit you. So that universe doesn't have a Spider-Man, and that's the one where that Prowler is. And if you hadn't been there, you're Spider-Man. I thought that was kind of cold-blooded, that he blames. He's like, if you hadn't been there, if that Spider-Man hadn't had to rescue you, he might still be alive, which is pure conjecture, because there's no guarantee that would have happened. And so it makes Miguel, Spider-Man 2029, a bit of an ass, which he is. But the way they pose, did I just freeze? I just froze. The way they pose that storyline, you could understand. And Into the Spider-Verse, which makes that one my number one Spider-Man movie, is because it brings you back to what Spider-Man, why Spider-Man and Stan Lee had him relate to the everyman. Here he is, brand new powers, and he doesn't have anybody that he can invite in. And all of a sudden, he's got Spider. I never thought in my years on this earth that fucking Spider Ham would not be the silliest thing that would roll out. And I remember Star Comics, Captain America, Cat, and all that stuff that they had. It was for kids. Star Comics for kids. I never thought that I would be able to take seriously Peter Porker on a movie, and I was. And then you had Spider-Man Nora, which I thought was a joke when it came out. I'm like, okay, this is just we're just spinning wheels.
Well, for me, it's like they got this Pavitar, from Spider-Man India. It's like I never thought I'd see him in a movie at all.
And then you had in the second one you had Punk Rock. I mean, you had all these Spider-Man, and like you said, on the page they're ridiculous, but when you're watching them play out in the movie, in the story, I love that movie. Like I said, it's used number one, and Across is number two for me.
Well, and perfect segue, actually. Ruth asked, so who is your favorite Spider-Man? Are you talking about our favorite, like listing off like all the different characters, or favorite Spider-Man actor?
Favorite Spider-Man movie? Clarify for me there.
If we're talking about Spider-Man actor, probably I would say Andrew is probably my personal favorite out of the three, because he was the one who kind of captured, I think, the best in my mind, the best in terms of like the geeky side of Peter and the cool side. I think he's saying actor. Your favorite Spider-Man actor? You mean as a question?
I'm gonna go with Holland. I don't like the stories. that I don't like the position that he's been in, but I think his acting ability and his characterization of Spider-Man has been dealt a blow by the stories, but I think he is the best of them. So that's going to be for me. And that's why I'm looking so forward to this next Spider-Man, because I think he can actually be the Spider-Man that he was not allowed to be in these previous movies.
Yeah, I actually did a piece right before when I was at Screen Rant, right before No Way Home came out, where I like broke down like here's because again it's totally open secret that Toby and Andrew were in the movie, and I did a feature where I talked about here's the kind of the different sides of Peter that Toby and Andrew and Tom all show. That's what I really enjoyed writing. It's like Toby's like he captured Peter in terms of Peter's kind of always down on his luck and always he's the everyman kind of character, and he's always like fighting against the different kinds of adversity from different sides, and he's having to like overcome all of that in his personal life along with superhero life. And Andrew really kind of captured the cool persona of Peter. It's like before and after in the case of his portrayal. Peter's just, he's really cool. He's really confident, and he really got that side of Peter. And then Tom, he's kind of shown Peter in terms of like he's really seen him like his Peter grow up. Like we see him in high school. It's like with Toby and Andrew, you kind of catch him in senior year. With Tom, you see him as a high school kid. You see him apprenticed by Tony Stark.
Really old looking high school kid.
Oh no, come on!
Way,
he was like 22.
He didn't age. He hasn't aged, so now he makes a perfect. He's in his 40s now, and he looks like he's the same age.
He's like 27. What are you talking about?
Yeah, 27-year-old senior. That's a lot of F's, man.
He was a senior back when he was like in Homecoming.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my heart, I always knew Ruth was out there stacking dead bodies in the basement. What was my heart? Yeah, she was in Scotland. Yeah. So I know the crime has gone down in Scotland since she's been up there. So thank you for the $5 super chat. Dave Chappelle, yeah, between Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, and they're very different ways because neither one of them fucking care, dude. You can't cancel. They've been trying to cancel Dave Chappelle for 20 years. It's not going to happen, dude. It's not going to happen. So, and Chris Rock, you can't cancel Chris Rock because the people who listen to Chris Rock and show up at Chris Rock shows don't care. They don't care. They bypass everybody. They listen straight to him. So
you know who else I really dig? And I introduced my dad to him a couple of years ago. Are you familiar with Frank Caliendo?
Yeah, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater, but I know who he is, but I never really connected.
Well, he's the guy who can basically like do a spot on impersonation of just about anybody.
Yeah, and he has a show. He had a show out here in Vegas.
Yeah. And well, he first made a name for himself when he was on Mad TV. He was yes. Yep. When he's playing George Bush on there, and he's like again he can just pinpoint perfection, just do just a perfect impersonation of like anybody. Absolutely anybody. So I showed my dad.
You can do it on the fly too.
He could impersonate William and I like right now if you were on the show, and he would. And I showed my dad a couple of years ago. My dad was just roaring watching this dude.
Mad TV's a show that I cannot believe lasted as long as it did. They pissed off so many people. They pissed off people. I mean, they would spoof people and they would do it. Man. The Mad TV Raging Rudolph thing, I hurt my sides laughing because I'm at my sister's apartment with my mom. We're all just spending some Christmas days before we go down to the house with everybody else, right? And I'm just sitting back in my chair that I have there, and this is back in '96. And so I'm watching this, and I'm like, because when it's Christmas time back then, you could be watching Frosty the fucking Snowman can come on at midnight. It didn't matter because they just would play these things, right? And my mom always had it on holidays. So I'm watching this thing that looks like Rudolph, and it looks enough like Rudolph, and I'm tired. So I'm like looking, and all of a sudden they start cussing. And it's like Rudolph turns in like the guy, and he assassinates. It gets violent and bloody, and it's using the same animation that Rudolph uses. And I'm like, oh my God. This could not have been approved by the people who own Rudolph. It wasn't. Mad TV did not fucking care.
So you're talking about like it was done like the old 60s like Rankin Bass like a kind of stop motion Rudolph.
Yes, exactly what they did, and it was so. I had to stop and look. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because they would beep out the cussing,
Yeah.
And so that the little snowman, the snowman with the guy with the goatee that was like Burl Ives kind of
Yeah,
character.
yeah. He would narrate the whole
Oh,
thing.
at the end, I will never forget how hard I laughed when because he had his little smile at it. I mean, listen. I'm gonna bring it up here. I'm gonna
Like,
bring it up here because it is
Bell
so.
says you're like the Steven Seagal and Van Damme skit. Yeah, I remember that one. Seagal, he also got lampooned. Seagal is notorious for being like he's persona. Well, he's kind of persona non grata everywhere now, but he when he hosted Saturday Night Live, he's considered internally the worst host they've ever had. He's pretty much been banned from Saturday Night Live ever since. So he's easy to lampoon. My favorite skit on Mad TV, it was always this is how I discovered Keegan Michael Key. It was Coach Hines. Remember Coach Hines?
Who has never made me laugh. I'm sorry.
No, I love because
never made me laugh.
No, those always got me because he's the coach. He's he's trying to like. There's always like an assembly and like there's a kid like whispering in the background and he's like making like violent threats to them and he's being like 50 times more disruptive than they are, and like that's the joke is like he's the teacher is like telling the kids to hey pay attention and he's causing way more of a scene than they are.
Okay, I'm gonna play this one part, and this is the part. Thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna play this one part because it when I heard this for the very first time, I laughed really, really hard. So we're gonna look at this. We're probably gonna get taken off, but it's Wednesday. Who cares? All right, so here it is.
Forget it, William.
Hey, I should get one of these for my workshop.
Oh God.
From
Next,
Christina.
our friends went to Santa's toy room with a special delivery.
Hey, look who it is. Mr. Freaking Fireplug. Mr. Freaking Fireplug.
Does my nose amuse you? Is it funny? Like a clown? Does it make you laugh?
No. Great nose.
Okay, I'm the capo now. Hermes my lieutenant and Abominable here's my enforcer. Capiche? Now let's eat.
There it is.
So
right
remember, kids, the moral of this story is keep your mouth shut.
I don't know why that made me. It was late night. It was really late night, and I was like I said, I was tired enough to look at that, and the TV's over here, and I'm like, what is that? Because they even had the opening. It had an opening. It had the opening with it had everything, and I'm like, I didn't realize I was watching Mad TV because you don't know what channel it's on. We didn't have digital. It was just you're just sitting there waiting for the next thing to happen. My mom, we were going to go to we were going to do something. I'm just sitting there and I'm dozing and I'm like, but they ran into the room. They ran into the room because when he said that, because his little face turned evil again. It was like Robert De Niro. I'm like, keep your fucking mouth shut. I'm like, oh my God, it was hilarious. But yeah, Mad TV, the one that they did with Curious George, I think might have helped get them taken off the air. The Curious George one, I'm gonna bring that one up. It's fucked up from beginning to end. It is like, hold on.
I think I remember that one. I remember that one.
Oh my God, with the whole mutilation in the lab because they were all in the lab, and so Curious George got loose and he disassembled the
So basically, so he does what the monkey, what you wish the monkey in Nope did.
Pretty much, but
Okay.
hold on.
Oh, but of course, as Clint points out, with Mad TV's cancellation, it is of course my fault. I got Mad TV canceled, guys. My fault.
Furious George is what it was. Furious George, and it's sick. It's sick. It's we probably, like I said, I'm gonna put that in the chat.
Furious
too,
George.
Yeah, it's completely
Furious.
Shut up. Here you go. Yeah, Furious George. No, yeah, I'm putting that in there, dude. The Furious George one, I was like, oh no, because these cartoons are owned by people, and they really, for the most part, you can parody things as long as you change the certain percentage. But some people are like, you didn't change it enough. That's recognizable as our shit, and our shit is doing some really sick stuff. Curious George was messed up. And then they're like, because they're trying to give Curious George a sedative, and he snatches it from him and sticks the man in the yellow hat with it, and he wakes up, he performs surgery. It's all fucked up, man. It's just like, I haven't seen either one of them online, in a while. I just subscribed to Nerd's channel because I didn't
Yeah,
get to it.
because Aaron actually just mentioned that to us.
Yeah.
Well, Spidey also he's like had a bit of like a schedule change. That's
Yeah,
but
and
he's still been on with us here and there, like we're like watch parties and things like that. But yeah, but I would think more of that myself. It's like, oh, that's where these dudes been. Spidey, of course, like helped originate Tra. So Spidey's.
Well, no, it was fourth. It was Meat Train.
Yeah,
It was Meat
but
Train.
Spidey took that and like he made like
he took illiteracy to a new level. Yeah,
he snowballed that into something like
silly and
he gave that a whole new life. It's like Spidey deserves a lot of credit.
Nothing deserves absolutely nothing at all. Yeah, Matt TV, if they didn't serve like they did SNL, probably die 50. Well, yeah, they were on right where SNL was, and they actually lasted. And that's another reason why I can't believe that they lasted as long as they did.
Steven Seagal, yeah. Well, again, it's to the shock of no one, I'm sure. There's like you could like look this up. There's like editorials, YouTube videos like documenting so when Seagal hosted SNL, it's like it was just like total disaster, and he was a pain in the ass to work with, and yeah.
All right, guys, there is 70, 94 of you watching right now. Go ahead and pull that down real quick so they can see. If you are watching, which many of you are watching from Twitter X, please come over to youtube.com at the Sci-Fi Center right there and join us here. Like I said, great that you're watching us anywhere, but watching us on the mothership actually helps establish the channel. So thank you. Yeah, that got a lot of pushback. Yeah, people were pissed about that. Whenever Richard Pryor was on that show, they were worried. Eddie Murphy, I'm surprised Eddie Murphy lasted as a regular cast member because he pissed off people every week. And I guess Lorne Michaels.
Oh man, like
Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. Mr. Robinson's neighborhood pissed off black folks.
Yeah. And he had the one. I remember he had the one skit where it's like he did with like incognito as a white person.
Yeah, that got a lot of people pissed off, and he was going around. And he was really doing it. It wasn't an act. He was actually really doing it.
And by the way, watch
Buckwheat was the one that really kind of pissed me.
And by the way, watch the skit, guys, because it's not, frankly, a very good disguise. So.
He's all, yeah. And then, one of them was fake because he did it when the guy was like, "You're white, right?" And then the guy just starts giving him money for no reason after you got.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy, he's another one where he's always been kind of hit and miss for me as far as like.
It was the 80s too. The 80s, you can't do that now because everybody's all pissed off. But in the 80s, you could make race jokes, and you know what? Guess who laughed at them? White people and black people laughed.
Oh
at them. Eddie Murphy made fun of white people for a living, and white people were the people in front of his aisles, in the front of his stand-up, just laughed.
70s, 80s, like comedians, like you could white comedians like could use the N-word and get laughter from it back in that era.
Back in the 70s, they could. Archie's the only one I know of. Archie Bunker and Carol Connor got a lot of heat for that, but people had to realize. And when they got the Jeffersons coming in there, because the Jeffersons was a spinoff from that show, and then the Jeopardy, because once again, the only person I've ever heard use it was Archie Bunker, and it was in context, and then George Jefferson would come in and call him honky, like every other word was honky. I remember every white person on the show honky.
I remember the first time I saw Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta. Because I'm thinking specifically, the scene where like he and his friends are like going into the nightclub and they just willy nilly just start throwing around like racial epithets about it's like, oh, if you do this, you're gonna be like this. And again, I'm not gonna say it out loud, but I mean, I'm like 30 years removed from the release of that. At that point, I'm watching this like, what the, and then I get. You dig a little bit further in history and like you understand the concepts. Like, yeah, it's like we were a lot more loosey goosey with just throwing around.
Charlie Murphy, dude, the funniest shit I've ever seen Chappelle do. Well, he's done a lot of stuff, but the one that resonates with me was the Rick James, where he's interviewing. It was a behind the music type of thing, and he's playing Rick James, and it's Charlie Murphy, who was the actual Charlie Murphy, and he had him in it, and he's just making fun of it. Cocaine's a very powerful drug, and then he's just acting things out, and it's so hilarious. And Rick James was totally in on it. It was hilarious. Like I said, that's when Chappelle was at the height.
Yeah.
So I was in the army, dude. We didn't get, and like I said, I was in before she was. we cracked some jokes. We cracked some jokes.
Well, I mean, we were sharing the Bell and when we're sharing army stories here a while back, where what was it you talked about, like being in the Middle East and the concept like the Haji phones?
Yeah, that's
Like,
that's a racist term. That is
yes,
a
that is a racist
term.
term. It's like,
And by the way, Johnny Quest, it's racist there too. I'm sorry, but nobody was like really, the world is a better place. Don't get me wrong. The world is a better place because, to be honest with you, when we were kids, using the F word, the 3-letter F word for gay people was just something you did as a kid. As you grow up and you understand, when you use those words on people, you make them less human and you make harm to them easier. So even though, we weren't as sensitive as a kid, now you're more out and open living in society, and you understand that literally a word sometimes can dehumanize somebody to where they as a culture are in danger. So, even though it was easier to do it back then, doesn't mean we should have been doing it, but we were fucking stupid kids, so we didn't care.
Ruth says, I think you guys should definitely just start with the Christmas movies.
No, here's the problem with it. It'll break up the channel. It'll break up the channel and our audience because soon as one fucker comes in here with Die Hard, we're done.
I was about to mention it.
We're
like,
done. We're done. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
You can't do a Christmas movie without that Die Hard.
I will unplug the channel. We are not going to do a Christmas movie and it be Die Hard. No, we can do the great. We can do anything you want. We are. If we do Christmas movies, they are Christmas movies.
Okay, we've already done Violent Night, which is Die Hard with Santa, which proves Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
All right, whatever. Let's see. What do we got? Which word you should say? No, Brad is not saying that word on TV.
No, I'm not.
But Carol O'Connor said it enough during 1977 through 80. Sammy Davis Jr. breaking some stigmas during and after the Rat Pack was really cool. He checked 3 DI boxes back then. Black, Jewish, and then being person with a disability. Yeah, because he was blind. He had a glass eye. Here's the thing, and it leads me to, I don't listen to that old classic crooner music stuff. Frank Sinatra, whatever you want to say about Frank Sinatra, how he stood up for his friend Sammy Davis when in Vegas they would not let Sammy Davis play in a hotel or stay in a hotel that they were playing in. And they told Sammy Davis he needed to go to somewhere else because blacks weren't allowed at the hotel in Vegas. I think it was in Vegas that they were playing in. And then Frank Sinatra came in and, well, then we're not performing here. Let's get our stuff and we'll go. If he can't stay in the hotel that we are playing in, then we are not playing here. That shit changed in a second. Oh no, Mr. Sinatra, we'll take care of that. And Sammy Davis, and everywhere he went, he refused to let Sammy Davis be treated like a piece of shit, like in the 50s and 60s, that was the world then. And Frank Sinatra, he even did some infomercial where there were some kids being raped. They're calling each other, race-baited names, and he gathers all these kids together, and he's like, and I'll never forget it. He's like, listen, there's all kinds of ways to be American. This American, that, this, and this, and this, but they're all American. And he was really serious about that. And this is a guy who put his credibility as an entertainer on the line. And Frank Sinatra, there's a reason they call Frank Sinatra the chairman of the board. And I will never forget that story and it came from Sammy Davis's mouth. I remember because it was on a telethon. Sammy Davis used to have a telethon, and Frank Sinatra came up to him and he told that story. Because Frank Sinatra would not tell that story. Sammy Davis told that story. And he was like, could you imagine in segregation, you're playing at the Dunes or some whatever hotel that they're playing at, and they, in the whole rules of segregation, it's so easy to accept because that was a norm of the day, right? Not for Frank Sinatra. I will never forget that. Frank Sinatra could never listen to a song, never, New York, whatever, not the biggest, that's just not my era. That thing he did, just like David Bowie, even if I didn't like David Bowie's music, and I do, what he did on MTV when he was sitting across from Adam Young in that interview, poor Adam Young, he was just there to be sacrificed, and he stood up for black artists that were not getting play on MTV, and he just said it outright, and he wasn't buying the corporate line that Adam Young had been sent to give him. He's like, I'm not buying that. And he led to changes there. So yeah, Tammy Davis checked off every box that the Klan was looking for back then. And Frank Sinatra, as long as he was with Frank, nobody touched him. And anywhere he was going, and that goes for any of Frank Sinatra's friends. That's the one thing about Frank Sinatra. I don't know how it's Sammy Davis, but he was loyal to his friends. If you were a friend of Frank Sinatra, he was loyal to you. And like I said, I'll never forget that, because like I said, my parents would always talk about some of the stuff that they grew up with. And Sammy Davis was not just their generation, but beyond that. So yeah, that Sammy Davis was big. There you go, Joga. There you go. Joga's right. I went to dinner at a party with my gay friend and his gay friends. Yeah, like I said, if they're using it in a conversation communally with each other, it's a different thing. But when it's being used by somebody who doesn't understand, and we're insensitive to it. If you're sensitive to it and you understand, like I said, I hear it all the time when I'm hanging. I got a lot of gay friends here. But it was different when we were using it as kids. It was different. It was not, as we look back on it, it's like, ooh, Rat Pack is great. Here, instrument vocal. Yeah, I mean, we still got guys out here that impersonate them, or what? Not the word impersonate. I'm sorry. What's cover bands that are the Rat Pack? Dude, they pack the house.
Sorry.
Frank Sinatra was a real one. He also loved Mexican music. Yeah, and Frank Sinatra opened the door for a lot of acts that would not have gotten a shot for a lot of different reasons. Frank Sinatra, he's with me. That's his attitude. He's with me. And when Chairman said that, you got let in. And there's a lot of careers that got taken off by him. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and highlight the one you were highlighting.
Rob Roots, Two Hearts. There. I'm trying to say the Ruth, and then Aaron says for a Christmas watch party, Home Alone 2 is my favorite of the series. And listen, William, I know it's like you got your stringent about it's like we're sci-fi, horror, fantasy. Well, Home Alone, it's like the fact that they survive any of those traps. If that's not fantasy, what the hell is?
That's not, okay, how are you getting left behind again? That's a once in a lifetime for anybody. I mean, you just did it twice.
Here's your answer. He has horrible parents. That's when you get older, you realize that the McAllister family, it's like they're all terrible people.
Yeah. No. Soul Man would get torn to shreds right now.
I should probably Home Alone with me too.
Yeah, Soul Man would get torn to shreds right now. And be honest with you, it was a harmless movie in my opinion. But even people try to fuck with Tropic Thunder, and I'm like, now that one would not get torn to shreds because the whole point of it is that the whole point of it is that and you got a black actor sitting right next to him pointing out it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But it is still interesting. I mean, you still like every couple of years you see like kind of like the cancel Tropic Thunder kind of wave sort of have a resurgence every couple of years because of the old blackface character. But again, it's like watch the movie. It's like that's the point. It's lampooning. It's not lampooning black people. It's lampooning method acting.
Yeah, now you couldn't get a black out. Yeah, it's in the movie, so I don't think you could be a good. Not a hater, just speaking the truth. I can tell you that dark skin is technically superior in terms of aging.
Well, I mean,
all I'm going to say is Bernie Hudson.
Well, yeah, it's not white no crack.
Yeah, look at Selma
Bernie
Hayek.
Hudson's going to be almost 80 years old.
What's going on with Selma Hayek?
Yeah, that's true. She's like pushing 60.
She's 57, 58. So I mean, I don't have to really say anything, but I love Sydney Sweeney too. I don't watch a lot of stuff with her in it, but I know who she is, obviously.
Oh, Ruth's got to go in here. Are they still making? Yeah, I'm curious about that too. I mean,
it's not getting released this year though. That's my problem. That's the only thing about it.
Yeah, well, because William, again, like every time I mention the Furious on here, guys, and like Aaron and my our anticipation for it, it's like go back and watch our streams circa September, October 23. That was the anticipation William had for Thanksgiving. I mean, he was counting down the minutes. For the whole
movie was good. I'm not saying the Furious isn't good. I just don't know anything about it. And it's a martial arts movie, which means I probably I mean, I can't say I'll never see it, but I'm not like I'm not like you guys rushing to the.
But I'm
theaters.
using it as a point of comparison for like.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. When is the sequel coming out? Yeah, sequel's in.
Yeah. Again, so it was on the. In fact, I got to give you a page up here for it. In November 2023, Roth announced on his Instagram page that a sequel, Thanksgiving 2, had been greenlit for a 25 release. That's not happening now. 2 months later, a couple other people involved said they believed that they were returning for the sequel. In August 2024, Routh said he and co-writer Jeff Rendell were about to hand the final script in the studio, and that Ray was expected to turn as Gabby. So that's kind of our most recent update. And even says right at the top, the sequel is currently in development, which is scheduled for a November 2025 release, but no recent updates were given on the sequel. So again, yeah, if they haven't gotten it underway by now, it's not going to be this Thanksgiving.
Because I can't accept this. So.
Ruth, come on. Ruth, I love you. I love you dearly, but it's like, come on.
What is she bringing up? Scary movie?
Yes, the best stream ever, a scary movie, because my pain for that.
All right, Thanksgiving 2 is an upcoming working title. It's an upcoming American slasher film written and directed by Eli Roth. It is produced by Spyglass Media Group. It serves as a sequel to the no, it's coming this year.
Is that so? Really?
Yeah.
Because we haven't got a trailer for it yet.
Yeah, it's cool. You didn't really, you didn't really need a trailer.
I'm look at it real quick.
Yeah, it's coming this year. Look at IMDb. Elton, I can be wrong. I really need it to come this year. Listen, I am setting myself up for disappointment. I'm setting myself up for disappointment. And if Eli Roth, if you're watching, if you can outdo yourself, kudos to you. How can you though? How can you? What are you gonna do? I mean, oh no, we already came up with it. Yes, the turkey fired. Okay, I got it now. The turkey fired. By the way, don't fucking clip this show. Don't be coming after me and
we're not
doing knife streams. We're abused of the women. He likes putting people in ovens. It's a movie. It's a movie. I do not, under any circumstances, condone the harming or butchering of anybody being put into anything oven. But if you are going to make a movie that depicts this, when we can't be pussyfooting around. So the oven was Thanksgiving 1. Now we got to do the turkey fire.
Yeah. So I guess, if you do it, with like the same kind of tone and context of like an itchy and scratchy cartoon, then it's different. Ruth ended one up here. I already saw that, but yeah, gosh. Aaron says we need a martial arts Christmas movie as well. Martial arts. Yes, I agree.
What? A martial arts Christmas movie? That doesn't even sound right.
Yes, it does.
That sounds like pineapple on pizza kind of shit.
The best, and you know what, Ruth? The best Christmas gift we could get this year is The Furious coming out in time for Christmas year.
Wow, dude, are they paying you? I have never heard anything from this movie but you and Twitter. You and your Twitter and so are they? Did they hook you up at least?
They have not
hooked
me up.
T-shirt or something?
I'm just anticipating it. You're greatly anticipating it.
I'm like, you're doing more for this movie than I've done for movies.
Very Karate Kid Christmas.
Posters and T-shirts for movies. You're doing more from them than I get for that.
Again, Google it, man. It's like it's supposed to be, I think, Beyond Fest and Fantastic, a couple other upcoming festivals now. But it really made a big splash at Toronto International Film Festival about a week ago. I actually tagged Aaron and Perp in the onstage Q&A afterwards. I'm telling you, it's like this is going to be the raid times 1,000.
Okay. Do you think Legion of Superheroes is possible? I think Legion of Superheroes is inevitable. in some form. We got a Hostile TV series on the way with Paul Giamatti. I think Hostile, to me, what are you gonna do there? You can only do so much with those traps and stuff, and the Hostile 2 was a horrible movie. Hostile 2 was a horrible movie. The first one, all right. The second one was just gratuitous stuff. The Elizabeth Bathory thing where the girl gets hung upside down and cut open. I'm like, all right, you're just now you're just going for, the whole torture porn thing. You can only it for me, it didn't have the staying power. I know the Saw movies, but I kind of went in and out with those. But But Hostel 2 was a horrible movie.
Yeah, I never really got into really the hospital. Of course, there's the Raid 3 Attack at the North Pole. There's a scene actually, funny you mention that forth, and we even did a watch party, both of them. There's a scene in the Raid 2 that has snow in Indonesia. And on the commentary for the Blu-ray, Gareth Evans, he talks about that's like a kind of like a storytelling choice he made. He wanted to show like the villain, like every time he's on screen, he wanted to kind of like emphasize the idea that everything kind of gets cold as soon as he shows up. So he sort of like uses like all these visual cues to signify that every time he's on screen, and it sort of culminates in this one scene where it's snowing again in Jakarta, which is kind of impossible, but again, it works in the context.
Doesn't it snow at the peaks? Whatever.
Well, not like in like the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Indonesia, man. It's like fun.
Yes, depending on who is making it. I think that there's 2 or 3 people that could be either make this Blazing Saddle and be involved in Blazing Saddle, and nobody would bat an eye. Quentin Tarantino, Jamie Foxx, and or Dave Chappelle. If any one of those individuals was involved in it, I don't think people would have a problem with it, and those people would not care. And I think that would be the power. If you can watch Django Unchained and not want to beat the hell out of everybody in that movie, I really wanted to poke Leo DiCaprio's eyes out. He was only in the movie for a little bit. Yeah. I wanted to kill Samuel L. Jackson. I'm like, man.
Did you want to kill him as much as you wanted to kill Fassbender in 12 Years a Slave?
Almost as much, because what Fassbender does, that whipping scene, I wanted to just come find him. But what Steven does all throughout the movie is just builds to the point where you're like, when I'm watching that movie for the very first time, if you don't die, then this movie is worthless to me. And he gets him. The way he gets him, it's so offensive. I mean, but yeah, if you can put a movie like that out, then I think a Tarantino and a Jamie Foxx are the combination of both of them. But I definitely think a Dave Chappelle or somebody could be involved. Those kind of people who nobody would question because they've all done this type of movie before. So I think you could do Blazing. I don't know if it would be as a comedy. Now the tone would be different.
I could almost see James Gunn doing that, actually. I could see him doing Blazing Saddles. Something.
No,
he was more of DC now. I mean, obviously,
he would get torched. I don't think.
Yeah, but he's. Ever... I mean, what was he doing prior to comic movies? He was doing like Trauma. He was doing shock humor.
I'll repeat what I said though. The difference between him and the people I mentioned is they've all done this before. Quentin Tarantino has a history of this before. Jamie Foxx has these are people that have already been accepted and have done this type of thing before. I think James Gunn would get absolutely shredded unless he was doing it alongside. Like if it was Jamie Foxx producing it, I think James Gunn. I think not just James Gunn. I think there's only a handful of people that could probably pull this off and not get ostracized. He's not one of them. There's a difference in coming in from Trauma and doing that. That's
Aaron, sis.
Not okay.
Again,
guys. Aaron is not a sister. They're not. They're no.
I mean, again, it's like Ruth was like willed Scary Movie 6 into existence. Like, I mean, it's like, again, I love you both dearly, but it's like you guys like keep like the one shortcoming both of you have is like you keep like name dropping. Hey, this shit was a really stupid spook movie to annoy Brad, and then it happens. So come on.
Hostel 2 is not that. You thought that was awesome? What was awesome about it? The people that are dying and getting cut up and kidnapped for parts are stupid. The one girl, Heather, the one that Heather Matarazzo says, is why are you going on the beach with these creepy mother? Those motherfuckers that ended up kidnapping her and hanging her up and bleeding her out. I wouldn't have gone 2 steps down the street with them. I'm not going anywhere where I'm alone with those motherfuckers. You look at those guys. Those are the guys they do in those little cartoons when we were kids in the 80s, where the stranger don't talk to the stranger, don't take candy from the danger. Those are the adult versions of that. And she's like, okay, I'll go with you. Of course you die. But no, I didn't think Hostel 2 was any. I mean, I didn't think it was good at all. I thought it was awful. But you know what? Hey, listen. Listen, when it comes to Eli Roth, I like a lot of what Eli Roth does, but there's a lot of stuff I don't like, and there's other people that are just a flip. The stuff I like about Eli Roth, there's other Eli Roth people are like, oh.
What was the one he did that was like the kind of riff on Cannibal Holocaust? What was that called again?
Green Inferno.
Yeah. What'd you think of that? Because that was like that was like a lot of. I feel like it was kind of like a lot of gore for gore. I mean, it's like that's like a. If you haven't seen that, guys, that's like Terrifier levels of like blood and guts.
But it's the pacing of that movie. He's trying to copy movies that had a different. I know what he was trying to do. 124 of you guys watching right now, thank you. It's 1:22 in the morning. Where are you guys coming from? I don't care, but thank you. But like, subscribe.
Yeah, Ruth brought him all over from the. There's a lot of Joel days tonight.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't like Green Inferno personally, but he has done stuff I do like though. Django was based on real events in the real world, so I don't see why people would have an issue with someone who thinks the world. I agree with you, Sarnoff. That doesn't mean that they wouldn't have a problem with it. It all depends. I mean, listen. Give it. I wouldn't have a problem with it. To be honest with you. I mean, I base it on the club, but there's, like I said, the same reason why you couldn't have Soul Man today. Yeah, it's based on real. Django's based on real events, but there are certain exaggerations that certain directors will take on those events that to make it their movie. They're not just going to do like a 12 Years a Slave type of thing. If you take, because he's a cult figure, he's basically a black superhero. So depending on how you did it, how you did Blazing Saddles like that, and there's a lot of stuff in Blazing Saddles that jokes don't age well that you would have to update. So I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just thinking only a handful of directors would even tackle it or be accepted. Could be wrong. Could be completely wrong. I'm just thinking from my point of view, but give it a shot. I mean, I don't know why we haven't. But then again, you know what? When it comes to Blazing Saddles, a lot of people, that's probably one of those classics that people will be up in arms just for it being remade to begin with. So who knows? A sequel to Blazing Saddles or remaking Blazing Saddles? I guess I should answer. Oh, yeah, Spaceballs too. Okay, that's about as much as I really want to talk about that. That was a hard movie to watch. I remember that movie. That was the first thing I ever saw Ving Rhames in. Rosewood, and it's in Florida. He's coming back from World War II, and the Rosewood massacre is happening, and he's getting his family and people out of that. That guy, he had his World War I uniform on and his pistol. When he pulled the trigger, he didn't miss in that whole fucking movie. He's on trains and shit and shooting people. He's hitting everybody. Not reloading either, but that movie was tough to watch because you're seeing things that happened in the Rosewood massacre. It's almost like watching Watchmen, but the Black Wall Street thing was only the first couple of maybe 10, 15 minutes of this. Rosewood is throughout. He's in the midst of Rosewood, and Ving Rhames and John Boyd are great in that, and that's a disturbing movie. A lot of these movies, I'm like, Jordan Peele's Blazing Saddles. Hey. Maybe he ever wanted to venture into comedy.
Yeah, I'm curious about news about that too. I'm really curious.
I'm not.
I'm curious about that in the sense, not just that, but also like Starship Troopers. It's kind of with Verhoeven's work. It's kind of like RoboCop in the sense that you watch them like about 15, 20 years after they came out. It's like you start to notice like. It's a little bit eerie, like how prescient they ended up being.
Yeah, Droga. Yes, I thought I said yeah. I do know who he is. I do believe Django's a little overrated. They haven't seen them. Wow. Okay. Movies are going to be, like I said, it's different. They're an experiential thing, so everybody's going to be different. So there's no wrong answer. But man, yeah, like I said, just Steven alone just compels me to be like, damn, you're lucky you're Nick Fury, motherfucker. Okay, are you trolling? No, Braden, it is not a Christmas movie. It is not a Christmas movie.
It's absolutely a Christmas movie. Go
what
watch.
Is wrong? What is wrong with you people?
Go watch Violent Night. It's Die Hard with Santa, which
Violent
proves
Night is
Die
a
Hard
Christmas movie.
Yes, it's Die Hard with Santa, which proves that Die Hard is Christmas.
I'm indifferent. I have no plans of seeing it. So,
And I don't either. So
all of this for me is another way to get donations to watch for.
I'm not. Guys, no, I'm not watching Scary Movie 6.
Yeah, it was. Wasn't that a blaxploitation? Weren't we talking about this? I don't know if I was talking about it on a stream or. I know you weren't there, Brett, because it was just one of those. 1975. Yeah, this was. This is a unique movie, and that title really. This is the great Fred Williamson. Oh my goodness, the Hammer. The Hammer. Former NFL player, Dimension Pictures. I mean, this was back in like the Foxy Brown era. I think in other countries it didn't. You couldn't. They had a different name. But he was. It was sort of a parody inspired by the Sergio Leone films, the spaghetti westerns. So yeah, I've seen this movie. I've screened this movie. Because we did a spaghetti western marathon, a 24-hour spaghetti western marathon, and we had people. I thought for sure somebody suggested it to me, right? And I'm like, you know what? This is a really good customer. It does a lot of business with us, and I'm like, this is gonna fail. And we're gonna be going home in like 2 hours after nobody shows up. A lot of people showed up, and they showed up at weird hours of the night, and I had to stay for that shit. So this was one of the movies we showed. It's just like the Doctor Who marathon. I thought it was one of those things where when I conceived of it, I thought it was a good idea, but as I got closer to the date we were doing it, I'm like, I'm going to be here by myself, and this is going to happen with the Doctor Who 24-hour. This is for the 50th anniversary. We did this in 2013. And I'm like, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start this marathon, and there's going to be a couple people that show up at the beginning, and then they're going to leave, and then I'm going to leave, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm like, yeah, I've been here. Nope. They showed up and drove for that. Not only did they show up, and they showed up in pajamas. One girl had a pajama blanket that went with her that she could zip her. There's a TARDIS blanket that she could zip into her TARDIS onesie, and she had her friend that she could zip into it too. They took up the front row. They stayed. That was the first time I needed to find a 24-hour Starbucks because I was dead tired. They stayed. We played from Doctor Who, the first episode 1, and we played almost all of them up until the brand new one that was premiering that day at 1:00, and then I remember it wrapped up at 8, and then we had another movie scheduled. I guess I was a fool back then, El Topo, which was a weird ass movie that we had people staying for that. So yeah, that was one of those moments where I was like, ooh, I didn't think about this one. But yeah, we did a spaghetti western movie with Boston, and it's a hard end, by the way. It's not it's the NIG double G. Yeah, but made by black folks, starring one of the Fred Williams at that time. Williams at the time was a star. He was a star. So yeah, Samurai Jackson, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Thing I have to say, I'm gonna need something. It's like, guys, like there's no amount of money in the world. This is not like William with donations where it's like there's no money.
Brad don't have to be there if there's somebody doing this.
I need something else. It's like William says, like I'll watch this X movie for this amount of money that I hate. It's like, no, scary movie. It's like you got to bribe me with something other than money.
We watched. Listen, Brad loves this shit movie, but we watched Mystery. We watched Ace Ventura.
I love those awesome comedy classics.
Garbage. William, which one is worse, Superman? They're both. It's a tie, dude. I'm sorry, Braden. I can't give you.
No,
I know it's a cop out answer. They're both awful.
It's 3. It's hands down. It's 3.
Fred Williams was in a better version of Inglourious Basterds with James Gunn ripped off. Okay. Yeah, because it was black folks getting opportunities to be at the headlines. We went from the 50s and 60s where we went to, we were forced into certain stereotypes, and then we went into the 70s where they were headlining their own movies. It was a black director, a black star, Pam Grier made her bones off of this. William Marshall. I mean, it was us at the top of the card, and that hadn't been, and nobody cared how good the movies were because it was us, Heartburn. Yeah, he's been in a lot of man. Fred Williamson. Oh, jeez, look at this, guys. Fred Williamson was not on the bingo card tonight, guys. But hey, he had a lot of movies, with the N word because he could use it, but he didn't just use it. He put it in the title, The Legend of Charlie Black Caesar. Man, Black Caesar, that's a classic. Be the Hard Way is another one. Hammer is what made him. Hammer is what made him. Hammer is what he's known as. In fact, a lot of people would call him Fred the Hammer Williamson after that. Oh, he's still alive. Man, he's 87 years old.
Yeah, Black Dynamite. Yeah, Michael J. White's kind of like taking up the. So he's kind of carved out. He's sort of become like he's kind of like a modern blaxploitation guy. He did Black Dynamite, he did the animated series. He had Outlaw Johnny Black. I remember when I interviewed him last. He's got a couple, that he wants to do. They're like he wants to do like a modern version of like Blackula and Black Dragon, a few others.
Michael J. White. All right. Don't. You're not the modern day whatever. And that's nothing against you. You're a brilliant creator, brilliant actor. Here's the thing. Didn't I had a problem with Black Dynamite? Not because I thought it was a bad movie. And it does well what it's trying to do. There's a vibe that's in those movies that stays with those movies in the era that released that no one can transport over there. Blackula now, we've had, we're in this day and era. It's not exploitation now. It's not blaxploitation now. We progressed from the area to where I don't think this is a good idea. We've had Vampire in Brooklyn in between Blackula. We've had sin. The blaxploitation era was, and I was a baby for it. But as I studied it and watched it, and my parents were the ones going to the movies to see this, and you talk to people that are from that era, I don't know if it's like The Crow. Like I always say, The Crow. Yeah, you can remake these things. You can make stuff that's inspired from these things, but you can't take the vibe that was 1994 and bring it to anywhere else but there. Even if you're making a period piece, right? Even if you're saying, well, we're going to do this like it's 1972, it's not 1972. I would rather Michael J. White get with Jordan Peele and get with Ryan Coogler, get with and make modern era stuff. But if that's what he wants to do, I just don't know if that's a good idea. Those movies are what they are because of in like a movie like Willie Dynamite, movies like that have been spoofed and caricatures so much now in the last 50 years that it's that area in between has taken the glow off of what you could reproduce. So I don't think that's a good idea. But once again, do what you guys are going to do and make a lot of money on it. I'm just, as a fan of those movies, as a huge fan of those movies, even the ones that are not horror science fiction, like Sugar Hill. There are some really good movies out there that are overlooked. American Entertainment Productions really put out, a lot of stuff. But I don't think you could catch that vibe. It's like Red Dawn. Let's remake Red Dawn. It's not 1984. So, but there was something about those movies that even when you watch them as somebody who wasn't contemporary back then, you understand about those movies. And when I watched Black Dynamite, they did a good job. But there's something missing from it that when you watch that other stuff, it's like they were in the moment. You're reflecting the moment. And there's a difference to me. It's not Black Dynamite. I think Black Dynamite's an excellent movie for what it is. But I don't know if we should be remaking these things without understanding that might be the issue. But go ahead. I'll go see it. I'll go see it. If you make it, I will go see it and I will give it a shot. But I think it's going to be tough. It's like what what's his face doing X-Files. Ryan Coogler's doing X-Files, right?
Oh,
I think
yes. Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think that's the toughest assignment he's taken up. I think that's the toughest thing, and not because I don't think he can make something really good, but will it be X-Files? You see what I mean? It's just there's a time, a moment, and a vibe for everything, and it's really hard. People find this out the hard way, And now there's another Miami Vice being made by the guy who did Top Gun, who is undoubtedly one of the better directors out there, right? This thing, Michael Mann made a really good Miami Vice movie in 2006. It's a really good Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx. It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie about cops in Miami dealing with a corrupt police force, dealing with drugs, dealing with all that. But even Michael Mann, who helped create the Miami Vice feel, couldn't make that movie anything better than a really good movie about cops, because he could not transfer over what made Miami Vice. It was everything he did in the time, the music, all of that stuff. You know, you look at that movie, in that 2006 movie, it's a good movie, but it's not Miami Vice in the vein where you were going. You only made that remake because of the success of the original, but the success of the original was based on things that you cannot bring up into the contemporary times, in my opinion. This is just me speaking. But yeah, that's why I would stay away from those things. That's why I'm not a big fan of remakes, and especially with blaxploitation. I just don't think you could make a good movie, but you can make a good movie without it being blaxploitation. I don't know. I just got a differing opinion on it. Was never a Jim Brown fan, but Ernie Bernie Cases was cool. Jim Brown was a legend. I need NJW and Wesley Snipes to team up movie. Oh yeah, Boz. Boz wasn't very good, but he didn't really. Those movies were cheese. And Scorpion. He was in another one too. Aaron, does Mad Max count? Exploitation films because of Tarantino's movie? Yeah. I never heard it called that though before, Aaron.
Well, I mean, like Mad Max, it's kind of a prime example of that.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the 90s and early 2000s slashers. Yeah, I mean, and I grew up on slashers, man. I couldn't get enough. And luckily, my old man traveled the world as an Air Force Master Sergeant, and he could get me stuff. He got me Korean stuff. He got me stuff from Spain. He got me stuff from the Philippines. He would bring back VHS, and we would watch that shit. And then as I grew older, I could not get enough. Argento was like he was all four heads on the Mount Rushmore for me at one point, especially as I watched more of his stuff. And I had seen Friday the 13th and the Halloween and all these things. And I see the influence that the Italians had on our culture and our horror, how much we took from them. Yeah, I slashers. And then, I grew up in the 80s, and the 80s was the decade for slashers, man. And then you see some of the stuff. That's why when people would scream, the first scream got me. And then as the screams went on, I'm like, oh, this is kind of lame. How old is he? How old is Michael? He's like, what? He's got to be 55, 56. Is he that old yet? Hey, here's another one, Antonio. Yes, I've seen Cleopatra Jones. I don't know if I want to see that remade. I don't know if you could make a really good movie about that subject matter, but what are you going to do? Are you going to do a period piece? Is it going to be like Dolomite Is My Name? I mean, I don't know. I guess I have such a love for that genre, and I got what they were going for in the movies that I watched, even the ones that were done before I was born, that I'm very skeptical of seeing it redone. How can you catch that vibe again? Can you catch that because even when Tarantino makes he pays homage to the 70s and kung fu movies all the time, but he does it in an exaggerated way that really doesn't, like when you're watching Kill Bill, you know exactly where he's coming from, and a lot of the Hateful Eight, you know exactly where he's coming from, but he's doing it in his own way, which makes it different. A lot of the people who go see his movies don't relate to the movies that he's inspired by. Whereas if you're doing blaxploitation, that is the genre. Could be wrong. By the way, guys, these are just my opinions. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do these. I don't know if it'll work. I'd love to be wrong, because give me another genre to do. All right. How you doing? Say, well, in the chat, have you guys seen the horror comedy The Blackening came out in 2020? Yeah, that was actually hilarious. That's a lot of the stuff that we make fun of. We talk about. You haven't seen it. It's I watched it with I actually got a screener for that. Yeah, because it's a lot of the stuff that we talk about when we're going to see these movies, and we look at each other like, yeah, that ain't us. Yeah, but Dune, see, with Dune, didn't he made a different movie? He made a different movie than the one that was 1984, and that was 1984 too. Yeah, no, he's a tremendous. I just like I said, Joseph, what's his face? I forgot his name. It's the tip of my head right now. Hold on for a second. But yeah, I think he's a brilliant dude. What he did with those two movies, he can direct anything he wants to. I just don't know. Miami Vice is about such that's why it's so appropriate that Miami Vice began and ended in the 80s. It started in 1984 and it ended in 1989. Yeah, because a lot of people were making Vietnam movies too. Yeah, Cleopatra Jones is a great. I just don't know if you can recapture that, but I know it's what's it was. David Fincher. You know what I was watching the other day, guys? Zodiac. Man, I love that movie. That's my favorite David Fincher movie. I was watching, and it's a long ass movie. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I love that movie. I love that movie. I love the way that movie opens. I love the way the intensity builds with not a lot of action. A lot of it's about the people and the wear and tear on the people who are doing the investigation of Zodiac. I love that movie. Yeah, a lot of that stuff got taken down too because they didn't want to pay the royalties. Oh, well, there you go, Belle. She just posted it for you. Yeah, okay. And the problem with Nightmare on Elm Street is Jackie Early Hurley did a great job as Freddy, and he did a accurate job of what somebody that what Freddy was doing would be. They made Freddy into what they said the thing out loud that nobody wanted to say in the 80s, what Freddy was. That was a problem for a lot of people. What the biggest problem about that movie is Freddy is so linked persona wise to Robert Englund. I just don't know if a lot of people that they were looking forward to come to that movie would ever let go of that. It was different when they did Candyman because they actually told you there were Candymen, and then they did a nice little thing at the end with Tony Todd, but yeah, that's they took a different approach. Yeah, Gone Girl is underrated. Yeah, and this is where I am. Because I want, listen, if you can come up with a script or a remake, okay, use the original thing that you're thinking about remake, and I challenge you. Let's build on that. Let's make new movies. Let's do new stuff. Yep, RCC, Riverside College. Yep. Oh yeah, I don't know where the hell Brad went. Oh, there you go. Antonio Fargas, you know him. All right, I don't know how we did it, but we have 130 people. We're closing in at 2 a.m. Pacific time. That's like almost what? How many? Where you at, Brad? It's like 5 a.m. your time.
Yeah, about 4:45. Yeah.
And I don't know where you're in the world you guys are watching, but a hearty thank you to watching us.
And all of you should brace yourselves. Watch out for the Furious coming up, and you should also go on Amazon Prime right now and rent Mystery Men.
Okay, none of you are going to give two shits about it. What he just said, but that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I'll edit him out. There's a lot of Brad to be edited out of the show today. But yeah, 130 of you watching right now. Like I said, please Oh, Fly Guy. You're talking about Fly Guy. And my bitch better have my money. Not all, not half, but all my cash. Or my foot's gonna be. Yeah, you couldn't do that today. But yeah, his poem when he accepted his award, Fly Guy, and he's running down the street. All these people are laughing at him because he's dressed up as a pimp, and he's got the fish in his shoes, and the fish break, and he's trying to save the fish. Yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't know his actual name. It didn't come to me, but I know what you're talking about. I'm gonna get you, sucker. That's one of those movies that I can take. I'm okay with that movie. That movie is because those guys grew up watching those movies. They were basically, making fun of a lot of stuff in that movie. Yeah, he's in Skyline. Oh wow, there's a connection to us that I wouldn't have ever done. All right, well, hey, listen, tonight. It's 1:47. Tonight is Peacemaker. Episode what? 5, 4, 5? What the hell are we doing? What episode is Peacemaker on? I think Peacemaker. It's on some. Hold on. Peacemaker season 2. What are we on? Yeah, I see a door. There's a Rick up I see. Man's only as good as his bird. Tied. Hold on. Oops. Hold on. This is. Okay. 5. We're on 5, which is going to be called Back to the Future. And then
Great Scott.
Ignorant. The episode 6 is titled "Ignorance is Chris." And then the 7 and 8 have not been that name. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 6 through 8. That's what I call like the shit hits the fan section because that's what Gunn has alluded to. Like those are the 3.
Somebody told me episode 5 it actually starts hitting. So hey.
Oh really? So episode 5 was like when like the big twists and like cameos and things like that kind of start unfolding this episode. Because again, he's really played the last 3, but I was saying like 5 also kind of is where
that's what I've been hearing.
Okay.
CB4 straight out of Lowcast. That was making fun of gangster rap. That was Chris Rock. No Terrifier 4 this October. Oh wow, damn. Yeah, I might give that a watch. There's a lot of wrestling going on this weekend, and that's great for me. All right, guys, 132 of you. Thank you for being here. I'd love to keep it going forever, but at some point I do have to eat. I do have to get some stuff taken care of. I gotta go get my order and stuff tomorrow, and I gotta get ready for Batman Day, and all the stuff that we do this weekend. Like I said, if you are watching this show right now and you are watching in the replay, this is a weird hour to do a show. I understand that. My viewership is usually affected by the fact that I am a vampire, and this is our time of night. So to get this amount of people watching tonight is kind of cool. So if you are watching from any other platform, I would like you to come over to YouTube. But if you just want to leave me a comment, whatever platform you're watching, I'd love to know who you are. It's not that the night is young and I'm tired. I have other things I got to do. It is 2:00 in the morning before I go to bed, which my usual go to bed time is 4. I only have 2 hours to get things ready to go. So, all right. Thank you all for being here. And, we'll see you tomorrow for Peacemaker, episode 5.
Gracie and Ruth also in the chat again.
Hi, Ruth. Or bye, Ruth.
All right. You got very try.